আমার ভাইয়ের রক্ত রাস্তার মধ্যে এখনো পড়ে আছে, রক্তের দাগ শুকায় নাই।
Bangladesh's fate swings between when Yunus will give a go-ahead on election dates and the now happy, now upset mood of the army bosses. Amid violence, chaos and confusion, many believe a coup was close. Bangladesh's interim government, led by Muhammad Yunus, is facing mounting pressure over its plan for conducting elections. After deadly student-led protests that forced long-time Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to flee to India last year, the people of Bangladesh wait endlessly for the promised reforms, even as the nation wakes up each morning to flip-flops and U-turns. The circus continues, but no one is really taking care of the monkeys. The administration is confused, and this lack of clarity is causing many to worry that democracy is in trouble in this country. Let's decode for you the key reasons for the unrest and uncertainty which is panning out in Bangladesh. After Yunus said that national elections would be held sometime between December 2025 to June 2026, the interim government is yet to set a date for the elections. The Bangladesh National Party of the former Prime Minister Khaleda Zia wants post held by December this year. BNP party in a statement said its continued support for Yunus government would be difficult without a firm election plan. Adding to Yunus's headache is the return of former Prime Minister of Bangladesh Zia to Dhaka after spending 4 months in London. She had left the country in January. Will Zia's return to Dhaka double the pressure on Muhammad Yunus to hold polls is the big question. However, the National Citizen Party, which was born out of last year's deadly student-led protest, insists that election must wait until key reforms are completed. The political parties across the spectrum are divided, but that's another story, that it's not just the political class that is irked by Yunus. Army Chief General Waqar-uz-Zaman also piled on pressure by calling for elections by year end and clearly stating their dissatisfaction over the political situation. In fact, there were reports Army Chief had put Yunus on notice. In fact, immediately after those reports surfaced, Yunus said he was stepping down. Later though, Yunus said he was staying on, and Army Chief took a U-turn on its equation with the civil government, saying all is well. Well, it has been taken care of for now, but the big question remains, for how long? Now, the progress has been slow on sweeping institutional reforms, which were Yunus's key promises after Hasina's exit. His government did set up the National Consensus Commission to forge consensus on recommendations by 6 reform panels. But sharp disagreements among the political parties led to more complexities. In fact, questions on constitutional reforms, a 2-chamber parliament, and also decentralization of the judiciary remain unanswered still. The Awami League's registration was suspended, barring it from election registration, raising concerns about inclusiveness in the polls process. Yunus's press secretary called for efforts to escape a war-like situation he said prevailed after Awami League ban prompted attempts to destabilize the government. In fact, in a Facebook post, Hasina's son blamed the crisis on what he called Yunus's politics of vengeance. Bangladesh's unstable law and order situation fed people's anxiety with growing street protests by civil servants, teachers and political activists in recent weeks, disrupting life in major cities such as Dhaka, the capital of Bangladesh. The unrest worries citizens who fear it could spiral out of control if a political consensus is not reached soon. Another worry is selective persecution and hounding of Hindu minorities in different parts of Bangladesh, which is perhaps unabated under the Yunus government. This not only has internal ramifications but external as well. New Delhi on April 19th condemned persecution of Hindu minorities in Bangladesh and called it a systematic persecution. In fact, on 22nd May, another violent act was perpetrated against the marginalized community when a crowd executed arson attacks on Hindu residents in Jensore district in Bangladesh. Predictably, the regime of Muhammad Yunus jumped to downplay the communal nature of this very crime. Not only India, but the West is also concerned. The United States has issued a strict travel advisory for Bangladesh, flagging concerns of terrorism and civil unrest. The US State Department on 19th April issued an advisory for US citizens and said they must reconsider traveling to Bangladesh due to civil unrest, crime and terrorism. Bangladesh currently has a level 3 tag urging US citizens to reconsider their travel, while some pockets in Bangladesh has a level 4 warning, which is do not travel. As public discontent grows, pressure mounts on the Yunus administration to stabilize governance or risk deeper crisis. For now, Bangladesh remains trapped in a cycle of uncertainty with no end in sight to this very situation.